Welcome you to our seminar program, Renature Talks. On this occasion, we have with us Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Ratan Hamlu, Dean Professor Konopranjan Chamadar, ex-Professor of Department of Botany, University of Poland. I now request the dignitaries to come up on the dais. We will now welcome the dignitaries with floral bouquet and memento. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Konopranjan Chamadar, we will now inaugurate the seminar by lighting up the lamp. Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir to kindly do the honors. I now request Dr. Taposh Kumar Bandhopadhyay, Head of the Department of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, to kindly present the welcome address.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Ratan Hamlu, my respected teacher, and also the eminent scientist of our country, Professor K.R. Chamadar, my dear colleagues, present students, past students, research scholars, non-teaching staffs. First of all, on behalf of the department, I welcome you all in this small effort of this department. At the outset, I can share some few words of this department in front of you. Basically, we have started our journey at 2003 with only 10 students. There is no faculty members and only the 2 classrooms in the Department of Botany. From that time, 2009, we have shifted in this department. Basically, a lot of problems were there, but we have got a good quality students and best quality teachers from other departments of our university, other universities, and also from the different research institute of our state. So the students have flourished their capabilities, and basically I would like to put a statistics on that. 127 students have passed out from our department. Among them, 59 students have qualified the NET, GATE, DBT, GRE and all these things. And this is a glory of our department. Basically, the three achievements, the three wings of this particular higher education, that is teaching, research, and extension. In the teaching, we have tried to show our capabilities. In the research, we have already produced the 5 PhD research scholar from this department, and we have published 25 papers. But in last few years, or 2 to 3 years, just we are looking that declining of this percentage of students who are qualifying the NET and GATE exams. So we are worried on that. Particularly this effort is due to that, to encourage the present student, and as per the desire of the Honorable Vice Chancellor, we would like to give some platform of our past student who can share their research achievement in front of the present students and in front of the present community of this university. So on that particular view, we have today organized this particular seminar and Renature talks. Basically, in this particular event, we have also published one proceedings of that will be inaugurated by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, from where we have collected some of the research thoughts and research achievements of our present and past students. It is very small book on that. So hope it will encourage our present students to go for this higher education, that is on the PhD and research program. So with this, I hope that the interaction between the present and past student will make a great success of this particular event, and ultimately we express my sincere gratitude to all of you who are present here to make the program a grand success. So thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to kindly present the inaugural address.
Very good morning, friends. Esteemed Professor Samadar, Professor Bandyopadhyay, my colleagues present here, the young ones and the people who are also younger to me, I should say, dear students and students who have graduated from here earlier, and our guests today in this department. I am really delighted the details that Dr. Bandyopadhyay has illustrated here, because I was really wanting to make a table for the NAC to illustrate how many people have qualified NET from here, SET from here, from this university, how many people have qualified ICSSR, ICCR, ICHR, ICPR, ICMR, ICAR, all these institutions which give funding in both science and social science subjects. And I did not find much, but I am sure these details would certainly strengthen my hands, when I start arguing with different agencies, and it really delights me. Last time also you had a wonderful seminar, but I couldn't be there because of some other pressing engagement. But I'm really very happy. Let me tell to all of the students, particularly the ones who come from outside in the sense who have qualified here and they have been doing their research or their job or working somewhere else and come back. I'm sure when they come back to Kalyani University, even though they have great love and affection for the Kalyani University, but they will certainly have an urge that the Kalyani University has to change once they get exposed to the kind of atmosphere that is available to them in other institutions. So therefore, we have to change. We have to change immensely in terms of building infrastructure, in terms of making a space that will be much more fascinating for pursuing research, and also in terms of upgradation of different equipments and facility that help us to conduct research. Because I can tell you, we find that the world, when it changed only because of science and technology and the thoughts behind that science and technology. You see, I repeat always, in first century AD we had a digging stick, we had a plough. But Europeans, the West had a digging stick. They did not have plough with iron tip. We had an iron plough with a tip, wooden plough with an iron tip. And they had only digging stick for cultivation. When we moved to 7th century AD, after the emergence of Christianity, we found that the entire West had a plowshare with 8 blades of iron, which ultimately took the shape of tractor and harvester and many other things in the post 18th century. But by 7th century they had that development. When we moved to 20th century, even 21st century, the major part of our land is still cultivated by plough. And unfortunate thing is our scientists are not sensitive to mechanization of agriculture in this country. What happens, in fact, one of the worst things which can transform the human society, both social science and sciences, I find, is that we write papers, we get promotions, but we do not think that whether this paper can make a breakthrough, how it can be a sort of path-breaking research, how can we place it in cutting-edge research. That is the spirit of the scientist. Because don't go for things, in terms of developing so many proteins and so many other things and so on, which may have little relevance to my society at the moment. I would say the scientists should be region-specific in India. Unless science are region-specific, we cannot move forward. Look at the empirical work that a European scientist does. When we go to a lab in Germany, when we go to a lab in US, when we go to Johns Hopkins, when we go to any other place. I have traveled to many places with my scientist friends and seen what is happening, because I am always curious to know about things. What do we find? They become small problems, they will become. And they will develop that into a big invention, big discovery, which would embrace millions and millions of people. I am giving a very small, sorry to take your time. You see, an American lady who was working in an office as a clerk, her boss used to scold her every day. If it was in Indian context, the lady would file a sexual harassment in modern times, or she would file a complaint and get the boss arrested. When she went home, she told her son that there's a problem, because whenever I write draft, there are too many mistakes, and the boss is not happy with it. Both the lady and a boy, they were cooking their food, making their bread in the kitchen, and while making that, they tried with some chemical derived out of the kitchen material only, which became the character. You remember that small bottle character? Before these new whiteners have come, that was the lady, her grandson happens to be the owner of the industry even today in US. That's how she took it in positive spirit and experimented with that. It was a small problem that how she can correct the draft, but it became an item for the whole world. It's not, there's nothing special. Those who get Nobel laureateships in US, American labs, Cambridge and other places. Today also somebody has done something very wonderful, in fact, in Cambridge. Again, a man from Chennai. We will have certainly thousands of brains in Kalyani University itself, I tell you, of the same material, who have the capacity, who have the will to do. But the problem is they are not getting that atmosphere. I would really impress upon all my colleagues here that do something how we can change. I will really be wholeheartedly supporting you in any venture you take. Be it post of infrastructure, upgradation of labs, anything, I will be with you. But do something. Please take initiative. Forget about small things. Think big. Think big. That will help this institution. And that's what is going to help the nation. If we make this institution better, we are certainly helping the nation. If we are not in a position to take it forward, and if we are satisfied with what I have, no. You can see your own website, university's website. I got a phone call from my previous Vice Chancellor, Syed Hassan, who is also a scientist related with life sciences only, saying that now I am happy that your university's website has changed. But it has not changed. Simply you can ask, go to Ujjwal Maji, he will have a very bad word for me. I was whipping him almost every day, half an hour in my room. I made him to sit with me. I said, look here, it should change like this. There was a small heading up there stating law history. I said, what is this law? It was talking about RTI and 1981 Act. I said, no, you change it, put it into the history of the university, change all these things. When we click, we must have easy information, because these young minds sitting here, they have no time. One interesting thing about the youth is, they want ready-made quick things. So the result was that when I whipped him almost every day in my room, he was damn angry sometimes, I am sure. But ultimately the net result has been that we are recognizing somewhere people have started talking about website, that things are changing. I have in fact always, I told Professor Bandyopadhyay also last time, I said, make a film of your seminar, because we want to put it in YouTube. Put it on YouTube yourself, you can put it on YouTube, there's all these young minds know how to put it. Let the world go on the kind of work that we are doing here. That's what I am interested in. So therefore, you have full support. I have a small thing to say, that this department should have also a good computer lab for students. Whether they make use of it or not, but you make it. Convert one room with a glass door into computer lab. One of the research scholars can be in charge. He can keep a register there. Those people visiting there, he can write their name and use the facility. If you require any budget or purchasing of computers, please write to me today itself. Thank you. With these words, I wish you all the best. I am really happy, because these small things will certainly change the human world. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request our guest of honor, Professor Konok Ranjan Chamadar, to kindly say a few words on this occasion.
Professor R.K. Hanglu, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of this university. Professor Tapus Bandyopadhyay, Dr. Tapus Bandyopadhyay, Head of the Department of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology. Professor Shumir Mukherjee, Head of the Department of Microbiology. Teachers of these two departments and from other departments present in the audience. The research scholars who will be speaking, and those who will be listening to them, all these research scholars, students, and interested people in biotechnology have assembled here. To all of you, welcome has already been ushered by Dr. Bandyopadhyay. Now, here we have assembled to see how the ex-students, they are doing their research. Previously, there was no such opportunity to teach how to do research. Normally, research is being learned by sponge absorption method by the students from the teacher. Here, students had no opportunity to select his own problem, because all the problems are being directed or guided by the teacher. But what we need in this country, research students with personal innovation. In most of the advanced countries, the students will join the lab and immediately the teacher will say, this is my area of research. You do whatever you want to do on your own. And there the research will be absolutely the contribution of the student, not the teacher. But very recently, last 2 to 3 years, UGC has made subjects all the research scholars will have to pass. what is science, what is scientific research, how to do scientific research and all those things. And I am glad to say that in this university, regular class system of this type, teaching the students how to do research, scientific research. What is scientific research? What is not scientific research? What are the ways of acquiring knowledge? By going through the scriptures, by pastoral experience, many ways knowledge can be earned. But actually, what is scientific research? There is a definitely guided and definitely oriented long back in Europe, and they are following that principle. That's why all the PhD researchers there are mostly very innovative and very path-breaking, as Professor Hanglu has mentioned. In our country, it is necessary that we teach the students to do his own work in his own way. Teachers should guide. Nothing can be taught, but everything can be learned. So students, they should be, at least, he should design some experiment in this country. My students are present here, they know I used to say them that at least 1 or 2 experiments you will have to design by yourself. Until and unless we adopt that principle that the students will have to be given the independence of his own innovative, and that will have to be also taught how to design a problem which is innovative. If you can do that, if we can do that, only then this country will be able to do path-breaking research, as is being done in Sweden, in France, in Germany, in USA, even in China. They have started coming up in a big way. Our country produced last year 38,000 research papers in reviewed journals with good impact. In that contrast, China produced 1,30,000 very good journals. Nature, PNAS, and all those things. So, students and teacher colleagues will have to orient our thinking of teaching students how to do innovative thinking and pick up problems which will be new as well as of human benefit, particularly Indian population. We should not make a rat race with the Americans or English people. We should have our own science developed to the level of the world standard. Think about Nalanda. People used to come here to learn. We must have universities where people will have to come to learn. At least in JNU I have found some of the African students are coming. But in most of other universities, no foreign students are coming to learn because they think that we have nothing to contribute. As Professor Hanglu has mentioned about the deterioration we are having gradually coming into this country. In this background, students, be daring enough to think your own problem. Now you are under guidance of some guide, all right. But after that, you'll have to take your own problems. You'll have to select your own projects. Try to learn how to write a project. Try to learn how to make a problem suitable within the infrastructural facilities available to you. With that, I think university teaching and research will go far ahead. And I think the Department of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology and the sister department, the other side is microbiology. They are doing very good research, but the standard should be more and more slowly it will go up. And one day, I expect that in these two departments, foreign students also will come to study from at least the developing countries. That will be a great honor to, or a great laurel to our hat. With this hope and deep hope, I thank you all and hope that you will listen, you will learn a little bit and think a little bit when you go home. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. May I now request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, to kindly unravel the proceedings that will be published on this occasion of Renature Talks.
Come here and put it on the website. You know, I was requesting Dr. Bandyopadhyay that and log of the department. Give the charge to a research scholar and they will be doing his job. Whatever activity his department does, they link to our website. Somebody should develop a blog with all teachers, biodata, their work.
Sir, I want to say something. So we already have a Facebook page for this department. You
That's
can
great,
integrate
but
that.
give a link to the website.
Yeah, we just have to integrate
Put
that.
all, I would say blog is better than Facebook.
Yeah.
Let Facebook be there, but somebody should start with blog.
So it is just like a blog, and Facebook has much more wider
I'll
approach
send
than.
you a friend request and I'll check out.
Yeah, sure.
I'm really happy because that day I wanted to come to the seminar was hanging between me and Utpal for some time. But we ultimately stopped with the dream talk. Then I met Bhargav and Vice Chancellor's meeting in Delhi. Found he was drinking, said I have not been first in company to go to that far at all. They are all my friends because in some place or the other I have worked with these people. Right.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Tanima Shah to kindly present the vote of thanks. On behalf of the Department of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, I would like to offer a special vote of thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for being with us on this occasion. We would also like to thank Professor Konok Ranjan Shomadar for gracing this occasion. And we would also like to thank the students and the ex-students of our department, without whose participation we won't have had this kind of a program. Further, we are also grateful to the university authorities for their full cooperation, for extending their help for this kind of a program. And lastly, we would have to mention a special thanks to the CIRL for helping us in recording this program. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we come to the end of the inaugural session. We will begin our technical session 1 now.